Sometimes the most powerful interventions are the simplest, because the simplest things that we do, the things that we do the most constantly and the most unconsciously, can be the things which are the most powerful effectors of the way that we feel, the way that we think, and the things that we do. So today, I want to talk about your body. So let's talk about your body. Because really, the thing is, you and I, we use our body constantly. In fact, we use our body so much, it's easy to forget about our body until we actually absolutely have to pay attention to it. When it's hungry, when it's thirsty, when we're in pain or something similar. But really, your body is one of those things that is constantly affecting your mindset. Because of course, we used to think of ourselves as being, the product of our brains. And of course, that's true to an extent. But in this era of embodied cognition and this area of understanding that your neurology is not just your brain, it really isn't. Your neurology takes place throughout your body. In fact, most of the neurochemicals that you create are not in your brain. They're actually in your gut. Have you ever felt emotion viscerally? Viscera meaning organs. When you get a sinking feeling in your stomach, or when you have butterflies in your chest. I think we've all experienced this because it's the way that we think. It's the way that we work. Our body helps us to process information, to feel emotion. In fact, people who have experienced rather severe trauma and have become paraplegic, often because they become numb to their body, they often experience a decrease in the felt sense of emotions as well. So therefore, I want you to think of your body as something you think with. Now, if you think about your body that way, if you think about thinking with your body, then you can understand that the way that you feel is written all over your body. And the way that your body is working affects the way that you feel. I mean, if we were just to, if I were to slump my shoulders a little bit, if I were to cast my head down, sort of, curl over just a little bit forward. If I were to breathe a bit more shallowly, because it's hard to breathe from the diaphragm when you're curled forward like this. If I were to cast my eyes down, man, that sucks. It really does feel bad. I mean, even though I'm not really in a bad mood and I don't have any reason to be in a bad mood, at least, no more than usual, right? I just started to feel bad by putting myself into a posture which was related with feeling bad. Because that physiology, in order to feel what you feel, your body does what it does to help you, to assist you in doing that. In the same way, if I sit back, spread my shoulders out a little bit, holding a little tension across my shoulders, putting my chest forward a little bit, breathing from all the way deep down in my diaphragm, letting my belly move in and out as I breathe. Well, guess what? My face is up a little bit more. My eyes are slightly over the horizon. Well, guess what? I suddenly start to feel better. And it's not magic and it's not rocket science. And in fact, some of you might be saying to me, well, Michael, this is, this is common sense. Why are you telling me this? Because our physiology, is something that we learn to forget. There's a process in the human experience called habituation. So if you walk into a room, let's say, where there's an electric fan running, you will hear that fan very often as you walk in the room because it's a new stimuli. It's like, wow, okay. Or if somebody turns on a fan, you will notice it. But after about 15 minutes, especially as it might even be sooner than that, when you've got other stuff to do and your attention gets diverted, you stop representing the sound of that fan to yourself. Except that if somebody turned it off, you might be like, wait a minute, something changed. What isn't there? And it may take you a moment to even realize that the fan went off. Or in fact, you might not even realize it. You might notice something changed, but you might not know what it was, and you might not even bother to find out. Well, you habituate to your body as well, because we are always in our bodies. Now, some of you may be doing some astral projection. Maybe, maybe you've been watching Doctor Strange. And you may be separating yourself from your corporal form. But I'm talking to those of us who are still bound to this earthly plane, at least in a way. And so if you're living in your body, there's a good chance that you've learned to cease to feel your body after a certain period of time, unless, again, your body just sort of pokes you and says, hey, pay attention. You've got a little backache, you've got a headache, or oh, wow, that's cold, or ooh, that's hot. So if that's the case, now this is where we talk about mindfulness. Mindfulness is the occasional decision to pay attention, to restore things from habituation, from what we hypnotists refer to as negative hallucination, pretending you're hallucinating that it's not there, and bring it back into awareness, bring it back into consciousness for the purposes of making sure that it's doing something that you want it to do. So is you ain't my baby. Are you aware of your body? Well, you probably are now because we're talking about it. And so is this posture supporting you? Is it supporting the way that you would like to feel? Are you experiencing your body in a way that really, again, it supports the way that you want to feel? Because if you've gotten a habit of sitting like this, well, guess what? You're going to start to feel less than good, and you're going to have less energy. You're going to have less get up and go. Your get up and go might have gone up and went. And it's not because of anything other than the fact that this is just your habitual posture. So how do we change this? Well, the first thing that I want to do is I want to introduce you to a concept. And in fact, I'm going to make you a challenge. This is the 6-week mindfulness challenge about posture. Now, I'm probably going to give you some 6-week mindfulness challenges from time to time, because 6 weeks is a really good way to establish what essentially amounts to a new habit. If you do something over and over again for about 6 weeks, you'll tend to continue. Just a rule of thumb, okay? Nothing set in stone, but it tends to be true. So my 6-week mindfulness challenge to you with regard to your posture is just to check in to see what condition your condition is in, right? So what we can do is that it can be something very simple. Now, for those of you who, like me, have a modern phone, the nice thing about these things is that they will, you can set up a chime or an alarm. And of course, you can set an alarm to wake up or go to sleep or notify you about certain things. But I just have a very simple app. Now on iOS, I use an app called Chime, which I really, really love. Although I don't know if it's still in the App Store, but I'm sure you can find something similar. And what this app does is, now I've got it set personally. I've got it set for every 15 minutes. You can also do this with every half an hour. Every half an hour, this little app makes a very innocuous noise. It's not enough of a sound to disrupt your circumstances or to be, inappropriate in your environment. It's just a very quick little ding, but it's again, very quiet, very soft. But when I hear that little chime, that is the thing that tells me, Michael, it's time to be mindful. And what I do in that moment is I scan my body. I check for my posture. I check for my muscle tension. I check all these things. And I say to myself, is my body supporting the way that I feel? And is my body supporting the way that I should feel? Are my shoulders slumped? Is my head cast forward? Am I hunched over? Do I have too much tension in my muscles, in my body? Am I vibrating like a string? And then I take a deep breath all the way down, and I allow my body to readjust. I also, because I've got a little mirror that I keep here on my desk. So I look over at my mirror and I check my facial expression. I check, the tension in the muscles in my face. Again, just to ask myself, is this facial expression supporting the way that I feel or the way that I should feel, the way that I want to feel? Not because I'm trying to force myself to always have a, crazed grin on my face. I'm not the Joker. But this is really about just saying, if I don't feel bad, why do I scowl? Why have I got a frown going? Is it habitual? Is it a body habit? And if I'm not, if I've got a scowl or a dead expression on my face, then I might tighten up my facial muscles a little bit. I might just give myself an opportunity to think about something I'm grateful for, I'm thankful for, so that I can have a genuine smile. Just to remind myself that, hey, it's okay. Now, if you do this I do it every 15 minutes. Now, I also, with this app, you can set it to do times. Now, I set it to start off in the morning at about 8 o'clock, because that's usually when it's polite hours for me. And it runs until sometime between 7 and 9, depending on the day, because I don't want it to interrupt my evenings. But what this does is it just provides me, again, it's not even much of an interruption. It's just a little tiny reminder on a regular basis to let me know that it's time to pay attention what's going on with my body, and to make sure that my body is helping me to produce a feeling, a physical sensation that is really going along with the state of my life. Now, what I have found is that for myself, and especially for my clients, when we do this over and over again every day for 6 weeks, it starts to change your felt sense of what your day is like, what your day feels like. And I've got to tell you, when your face is up a little bit, when you're looking, slightly down on the horizon, when you've got some muscle tension in your shoulders, but not too much, when you can breathe deeply, easily, and freely, life feels better. Because for you as an organism, as a biological entity, it is better. Because this posture is healthy and it's good and it's useful for you. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you'd like to take this 6-week challenge with me, and in another 6 weeks, I'll probably check back in, and I'll give you some pointers along the way, just of little things you can add to your mindfulness break. But for right now, again, let's go through the steps. You're going to very quickly, when you hear that little sound, you're just going to scan your body up and down. And you're going to ask yourself, does the configuration of my physiology and my breathing and all of that, does that match the way that I feel or the way that I should feel in the circumstances? If not, physiologically, what needs to change in order for me to be sitting more comfortably, to hold myself upright, to breathe comfortably and fully, to have the facial expression, the kind of muscle tension in my body, which is relaxed but energetic, and which is me feeling good. Because physiologically, there's no reason not to do that most of the time. And it's about creating a set of physiological habits so that your body is used to supporting your psychology. Now, in the next video, we're going to talk a little bit more about this, and I'm going to go into a bit more detail. But at least for right now, you've got your challenge, should you choose to accept it. And I really, really look forward, not just to seeing what it's like for you after a day or two, but what it's like after you do this for a full 6 weeks. I'm very excited to see the changes, and I hope you are too. Make sure that maybe the next thing you do is put it in your calendar, a reminder, a weekly reminder to start again, so that you've got daily chimes, you've got a weekly reminder, and then you've got something to remind you it's the end of 6 weeks, so that you can assess how much better you feel on a daily basis. I'm Michael Perez. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope this is valuable. I'm looking forward to hearing your reports. Now, my question for you today, do you have some specific things that you look for in the way that you hold your body, in the way that you breathe, in the way that you have facial expressions or anything else about your body? Do you have physiological distinctions that you use to help yourself to feel better? And what feels really good for you? Now, I'm really looking forward to reading your answers in the comments below. Again, if you like this video, it helps people to find it. So please press the thumbs up, the little like button for me. I would really greatly appreciate it. If for some reason you don't like feeling good and you're a big fan of terrible posture, you can dislike the video too. I'm okay with that. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel to get more stuff like this, please do. Please subscribe. And I will look forward to seeing you on the very next video. Be well.